I went back and forth all night last night about whether or not I was going to touch on this story because I really didn't know how I wanted to approach this. And the reason being, I disagree with every aspect of it. I disagree with Mina Kimes' take on Jimmy Garoppolo. I disagree with Jeff Garcia basically claiming that Mina Kimes should not be talking about the NFL because she's never played in the league. And of course, this should come as no surprise. I disagree with how Twitter and the media is covering the story. Now let's start with Mina Kimes' take on Jimmy Garoppolo. Mina Kimes. Both ESPN and NFL Network have women in prominent positions covering the NFL. They call them analysts, which that's fine. It's a bit of a stretch, but I understand why they use the term. Mina Kimes, Cynthia Freeland, they are not X's and O's analysts. They're not going to break down film, break down plays, tell you what's going through the mind of a quarterback as he's reading a defense. They have no way of doing that. They've never played in the NFL. Mina Kimes is a statistical analyst. She's not an NFL analyst. There's a difference, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Many or all of her takes really are based off of stats and stats alone, as I'm about to show you when she's talking about the supposed ineffectiveness of Jimmy G. When this channel was strictly about sports, the NFL, the NBA, and less about the propaganda and the sports media, I used to say all the time, do not get caught up in statistics. Stats are an illusion. The only people stats matter to are fantasy football players and media members like Mina Kimes. If we judge the NFL on statistics alone instead of the outcome of games, the Dallas Cowboys would be the best team in the league. Dak Prescott would be the number one quarterback in the NFL. Where are they at right now? They're sitting on their ass like the rest of us. They were bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Again, Drew Brees set passing records throughout his career. Statistically, he was the best quarterback in the league the majority of his career, especially from 2014 to 2016. Saints went 7-9 all three of those years. Now, why were Drew Brees' stats so high? Because those 3 years, he was always playing from behind. The defense in New Orleans was atrocious. Drew Brees set all these passing records, one Super Bowl ring. When evaluating the NFL, stats are meaningless. But to analysts like Mina Kimes, stats are the end-all be-all. Doesn't matter that Jimmy G is in the NFC Championship game. Doesn't matter that he's went on the road twice in the playoffs and won. Doesn't matter that the Niners are arguably the hottest team in the league right now. None of that matters. All that matters to Mina Kimes is Jimmy Garoppolo's QBR and his passing yards. The clip below is what started the controversy this week between Mina Kimes, Jeff Garcia, and the useless mainstream media. Roll the film.
Oh my God, I don't know where to begin. Okay, I mean, first, your defense of him was he's a starting quarterback. You mentioned that their defense is good. I'm really not sure where Jimmy G factors into all of this. And I want to be clear about something. I'm not a Niners hater. I love watching this football team. I see them winning. I see them winning because of their excellent pass rush. I see them winning because D'Amico Ryans and Kyle Shanahan are doing a hell of a job. Deebo Samuel is incredible. Trent Williams is amazing. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the reason they're winning. They're winning with him, but not because of him. In this last game against Green Bay, Keyshawn, I know you said you don't like statistics, although you cited wins, which are not a quarterback statistic, but he posted the second lowest QBR in 15 years. You could say, well, George Kittle catches that touchdown. We're having a different conversation, to which I would say the Packers should have picked him off at least 2 more times. One of those should have been a pick six. He was trying to give away the game in the second half, and this has been a trend throughout the postseason. Since joining the Niners, he has 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in the playoffs. These are not advanced statistics.
She admitted it. These are not advanced statistics. If you listen to her podcast, it's nothing but stats. Judging players, judging teams based on stats. Her judgment of Jimmy G, based solely on the numbers that she is looking at on a sheet of paper. Here is the problem with her analysis. Statistics cannot measure intangibles. Take the wild card game against Dallas, for example. On paper, Dak Prescott, the better quarterback. But who was the better quarterback in the fourth quarter? When the pressure was on, game is on the line, who was the better quarterback? Jimmy G. With under 3 minutes to go, Dak Prescott had two opportunities, two separate drives to win the game. Couldn't get it done. Now, contrast that with the two drives that Jimmy G orchestrated in the fourth quarter. One of them ate nearly 6 minutes off the clock. Would have ended the game had Demetrius Fowles not jumped on 4th and inches. Same thing happened with less than a minute to go. Look, of the four quarterbacks left in the playoffs, statistically, Jimmy G is by far the worst. But Kyle Shanahan doesn't need him to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't need him to be Joe Burrow. You know why Joe Burrow has to sling the ball all over the field? His defense can't stop anyone. Patrick Mahomes got to put up 40 points to win. Jimmy G doesn't have to do that. The Niners defense has held opponents under 300 yards 9 times this season. Last week in Green Bay, they didn't need Jimmy Garoppolo to be the hero. They needed him to do exactly what he did. Don't lose this game. Mina Kimes gets so caught up in statistics that she can't see the forest from the trees. Go look at Tom Brady's stats. His first 4 years in New England, go look them up. You judge him on paper those 4 years, statistically, Tom Brady is actually worse than Jimmy G in 2019 and this season. But Tom Brady won 2 Super Bowls those first 4 years. The stats wouldn't tell you that, though. He wasn't putting up big numbers because he didn't have to. The Patriots had a stifling defense. Tom Brady, he stepped up in big moments when he had to. He let the defense do the rest. Now, my critique of Mina Kimes, I would have considered that to have been respectful, right? I didn't attack her. I didn't say that she shouldn't be analyzing the NFL because she never played. Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia went into full-blown attack mode. Now, I don't have an Instagram account, so I had to screenshot Jeff Garcia's message to Mina Kimes from Outkick. Here it is. And by the way, if you ever wonder how much work and research goes into these 10 to 15 minute videos, check out the tabs at the top of the screen. But I want you to read this response from Jeff Garcia. His criticism of Mina Kimes. What is his criticism based on? Is he criticizing her because she's a woman talking about the NFL? Or is he denigrating her analysis because she's never played in the league? Even the dumbasses at Deadspin were able to figure this one out. You know that you were on the wrong side when even Deadspin can get it right. But we all know how this story goes. Jeff Garcia provided the cheese, and the rats and the woke media took the bait. Headline over at the San Francisco Gate. ESPN backs Mina Kimes after Jeff Garcia's sexist tirade. Awful Announcing, which is an appropriate name for the site because they're god-awful. Awful Announcing accused Jeff Garcia of being a sexist. Sexism. Look, I don't agree with what Jeff Garcia said. I agree with the sentiment that Mina Kimes' analysis is wrong. Like I said, a lot of women have made careers for themselves in sports by being numbers crunchers. While it may be entertaining to some, their analysis is often shit. If you don't believe me, take $5,000 and follow Kelly in Vegas and bet every play that she gives you based off of her analysis. You will be bankrupt within a week. But nothing Jeff Garcia said was sexist. He wasn't attacking Mina Kimes because she's a woman. He was attacking her because she's full of shit. There is a huge difference. There is this belief in the unemployable community on Twitter and in the media that a man, especially a white man, cannot be critical of a woman. He can't criticize her. She's a woman. Men should never be allowed to criticize women. That is sexism. You can't have it both ways. Let's be real. Traditionally, sports have always been a man's world. I don't have a problem with women in sports, even though I don't agree with Mina Kimes. She has the right to give her analysis, her opinion, as wrong as it may be. That's fine, but you don't get to step into the traditional men's arena of sports and not take the criticism that goes with it. You can't pretend like you're immune to criticism because you're a woman. Now, notice I didn't say because you identify as a woman. Mina Kimes is 100% female. She's not the fake version like someone else we know. Looking at you, Leah Thomas. Mina Kimes does not need assistance from Jeff Garcia to be a victim. She's a professional at victimizing herself. Remember last month when she shared some anonymous email she received from a hater? An email I think she probably sent to herself. You remember that? how she claimed she was sharing it to show other women what I deal with every day as a woman in sports media. I'm taking one for the team, girls. I'm paving the road so you can follow in my woke footsteps. If you put yourself in the public sphere, you better be able to take the heat. If I bitched and complained every time I was criticized, I would never have time to make these videos. Whether the criticism is right or wrong, Mina Kimes is not immune to it because she's a woman. All right, let me know what you guys think. Mina Kimes, Jeff Garcia, and this notion that she cannot be critiqued because she's a woman. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.